Members of every species in the galaxy always talk about how they're the biggest, baddest, meanest sons of bitches in the galaxy. But humans never brag. Sure, there's always that one guy. But you get a bunch of Thrax in a room, they'll boast endlessly. Tauren would scoff at everyone else, but humans, they'll grin and make fun of all the bragging. Once I asked a human why they never bragged. He grinned and said, "Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen." Never found out what a prom queen was, but it was clear, losers brag, winners procreate. I first thought they didn't brag because of their stature. They're smaller than a Thrax by a half, not as smart as the Tauren, and not as numerous as us Braxi. But after the Battle of Pax Century 1 I've realized just how terrifying they are. The Braxi Hive Command wanted Pax Century, a world that the humans had a light hold of. It was a new colony, undeveloped, and we rolled over them. They fought like wild animals, but nothing can stop a Braxi rush. Their military was shredded like a cold chitin plate, their command brood mutilated. Only one ship ran away. The last thing we heard was an unencrypted transmission, "We got Gurkhas on the ground, and we're not going anywhere." My battle brood occupied the only city the humans were able to build, all 20,000 of us, and the first night, the humans attacked. They might not brag, but they always talk about shock and awe, or a can of whoop ass. That wasn't bragging. That is the truth. Our border guards were annihilated, light infantry fighting vehicles destroyed, munitions stockpiles blown up. They came at us with guns, but also with knives. True, honest knives. We killed a few, but we lost 300, small numbers and acceptable losses, the command brood told us. The next night, we lost our first brood commanders. The humans launched another raid, but it was a trap. The second our brood commanders arrived, snipers took them out. We might be numberless, but we can't function without a command hive. New commanders were woken up and brought in under guard. We pushed them back, but only after half a platoon was eliminated, nearly 500 soldiers. Each night, the humans attacked. They crawled through sewer pipes, popping up in buildings. They built rudimentary gliders and flew in. With fucking propellers. A missing truck would drive back, blowing up at the first checkpoint. And every so often, they'd just barge in, plasma guns blazing. But each attack cost them soldiers. 3, 7, 1, we killed the humans as they came. Then, one night, they didn't attack. After being under siege for nearly 2 weeks, the silence of the wild was unsettling. The command brood told us that the last few humans must have crawled off to die of blood loss. We listened, we nodded, and we believed them. On the 5th silent night, we woke up to explosions. The humans were going after our fission generators. We couldn't understand why. Those generators were small game, more for powering barracks lights than powering cities. They couldn't even melt down. Nearly a week later, we found out why. They didn't destroy the generators to kill lights. They destroyed them to get the radioactive fuel, and poisoned 2 of the water purification plants. Nearly 10,000 soldiers and brood commanders were suddenly dying, crapped up with radiation sickness. Hospitals were breaking from the strain. And the humans kept attacking, killing all they could find, cutting their heads off with their anachronistic knives. We would chase them off, following nothing but a single shadow, but they ran into the wilderness, and we lost them. They were relentless. They went after munitions plants, motor pools and food stocks. With nearly no brood commanders to lead us, we were practically defenseless. Baser desires came to light as the hive was absent, and the humans just kept on attacking. It was common to see severed heads stuck to sticks. By then, the retaliatory human fleet was arriving. We had to surrender. We were too disorganized, too scattered, and too demoralized to fight. The humans agreed, and we met them on a nearby field to officially surrender. As one of the last uninjured soldiers, I was put into the security detail. The concessions were terrible, but necessary. The brood signed them all. Then the humans called for their last surviving attackers to show themselves. Imagine our surprise, imagine our embarrassment, imagine our shame, when only one single human revealed themselves. Their powered armor was caked with mud and blood, battered, dented, covered with rudimentary field repairs. Then the human pulled off their helmet, and our brood leaders nearly committed suicide on the spot. It was a female. The humans laughed, hooting and hollering their mammalian way. We were told females were useless, good for only breeding and raising the young. They were not warriors. We left with our thoraxes dragging in the dirt. They called her the Furious Angel, and they gave her every single medal they could find. To have one human fight us to a standstill was an insult. To have one human female fight us to a standstill was enough to ruin brood lines. But to have that one human female be the bane of an entire Bruxy battle company. The surviving brood commanders had to commit suicide, their birth hive culled, lest they pass on their inferior genes to the next generation. But soldiers like me still have use. We were sterilized, sent to the damned company, fighting among criminals, degenerates, and mutants. We can't be responsible for the downfall of the Bruxy. Instead, we became a cautionary tale. And caution is what I'm telling you. Humans don't need to brag about being the baddest motherfuckers in the galaxy. They already are. While we're bragging and gloating and patting ourselves on the back, the humans go home, to fuck the prom queen. Author's name and link to original text is in the description.